Have you ever paused and wondered why some people reply instantly while others leave you waiting in silence? Why does a simple good night sometimes feel like a warm embrace and other times like a cold goodbye? In our everyday texting lies a hidden world, a window into how our hearts are wired. According to attachment theory, the way you text can reveal your deepest emotional patterns, your fears, your needs, and how you connect with those you love. Today, we'll journey through 25 powerful signs, each revealing a little piece of your attachment style. Whether you tend to be anxious, avoidant, or somewhere in between, these insights can help you understand not just your texting habits, but the very essence of how you love. So settle in, turn up the volume, and let's uncover what your texts are truly saying about you. Signs. 1. You overthink every message before hitting. Send you type a message, then delete it, sometimes rephrasing it several times. It isn't just about perfect grammar. It's about crafting the right words that won't scare the other person away. This constant editing is a sign of anxious attachment, the persistent fear of miscommunication and rejection that keeps your mind racing every time your fingers hover over the keyboard. Signs 2. Silence triggers a spiral of worry. When someone takes longer than expected to reply, you feel a knot in your stomach. It's not mere impatience, it's the terror of abandonment. You start questioning, what did I do? Are they losing interest? This emotional dependence on instant reassurance reflects deep-seated insecurities about being unworthy of love. Signs 3. Your phone becomes a lifeline. You're constantly checking your notifications, even in the middle of a conversation or during important tasks. Every buzz or vibration sends a surge of hope, and every pause leads to despair. This compulsive behavior reveals that, for you, each text is a lifeline, an affirmation that you matter in someone's world. Signs 4. Long paragraphs replace genuine connection. When emotions swell, you pour out detailed, heartfelt messages. You share your joys, your hurts, and every nuance of your day. Yet sometimes, even as you spill your soul, you receive a curt K in return. Such unbalanced exchanges highlight an underlying craving for deep intimacy, often stemming from an anxious need to be understood and validated. Signs 5. The I'm fine that isn't fine. You often say, I'm fine, even when you're not. It's a defense mechanism, a way to hide vulnerability, to avoid asking for help in case it's seen as weakness. This facade of normalcy masks an internal turmoil that fears hurting others with too much honesty. Sign 6. The peril of over-apologizing. Even when nothing is wrong, you find yourself apologizing profusely in texts. Sorry if I bothered you, or sorry for texting again, you write, as if love requires constant justification. This over-apology is not about error. It's about a deep-seated fear that you're somehow too demanding or that your need for connection burdens the other person. Sign 7. Emotional dependence on consistent check-ins. You rely heavily on routine texts, morning greetings, midday check-ins, and goodnight messages to anchor your day. These predictable exchanges become a ritual that reassures you of someone's presence. If one is missed, it sends your emotional stability into disarray. This need for constancy is a hallmark of an anxious attachment style, where every interaction is a reaffirmation of love. Signs 8. Decoding every emoji and punctuation. Mark a smiley face or heart emoji isn't just decoration, it's a message in code. You scrutinize each symbol, wondering if it holds a hidden meaning. A period instead of an exclamation point can feel like a withdrawal of warmth. This hyper-awareness stems from a mind that's trained to seek signs of both intimacy and rejection in the smallest details. Signs 9. Ghosting as a self-protection mechanism. Sometimes when a conversation becomes too deep or intense, you suddenly disappear. You might stop replying altogether, not because you've lost interest, but because the intensity of connection scares you. This act of ghosting is a self-preservation tactic, reflecting an avoidance strategy, pulling away when closeness threatens your sense of autonomy. Signs 10. The need to maintain constant contact. There are moments when you simply cannot go a few hours without reaching out. Even if you're busy, you send a quick, "Hey, thinking of you" message. This perpetual need to connect underscores a reliance on external validation, a cry for emotional security that only another's attention can provide. Signs 11. Hesitation to initiate conversations. Even though you crave closeness, you often hesitate to make the first move in texting. You worry that initiating might come off as too forward or desperate. So you wait, wondering if the other person will reach out first. This push-pull dynamic is a classic signal of the anxious avoidant mix. A part of you that yearns for love, and another part that fears it. Signs 12. Changing your texting style to mirror others. You find yourself subconsciously adapting your texting tone to match the person you're talking to. If they're brief and to the point, your messages become curt. If they're playful and emoji-rich, you follow suit. This mirroring isn't just about compatibility, it's about the fear of being rejected if you're not like them. Signs 13. Texting as an emotional barometer. Every text from someone feels like it carries a huge emotional weight. A delayed reply can darken your whole day, while an enthusiastic "hi" can lift your mood instantly. You've come to measure your self-worth by the quality of these digital exchanges, a clear sign that you're emotionally invested to the core. Signs 14. The overuse of qualifiers in your messages. You feel compelled to soften your opinions with phrases like "maybe," "I think," or "just a thought," even when you're confident. This constant need to buffer your words is a reflection of your fear of being judged or misunderstood. It's as if every sentence is a negotiation for acceptance, revealing an inner insecurity born from past experiences. Signs 15. Using humor to mask deeper emotions. Often you'll send a funny meme or a sarcastic remark instead of directly addressing your feelings. This humor is not only a way to lighten the mood, it's a shield that hides your real emotions. Behind every laugh, there's a heart that's too scared to be vulnerable and too eager to be loved. Sign 16. Intense reactions to minor textual cues. A brief "okay" or a simple "thanks" can trigger a cascade of negative thoughts. You might start believing that these small texts are evidence of a deeper disinterest or conflict. This intensity comes from a fragile emotional state where every word is magnified and every silence ominous. Sign 17. Holding on to good old conversations. When feelings of loneliness creep in, you scroll back through old conversations, replaying every word as if they're treasures. You use these moments to recapture the warmth of past connections, even if those relationships have long faded. This nostalgic habit is a sign of longing for an emotional safety net that once made you feel cherished. Signs 18. The reluctance to address problems over text. When conflicts arise, you tend to avoid texting altogether. Instead of confronting issues head-on, you retreat into silence, hoping that time will mend the unspoken hurt. While it might seem like a desire for peace, it's more often a coping strategy to avoid the discomfort of emotional exposure. Signs 19. Reading into the typing indicator. There's something almost mesmerizing and anxiety-inducing about watching the typing indicator. You see those 3 dots and hold your breath, waiting for the words to come. But when they don't, your mind races. What if they decided not to say anything at all? This fixation on the digital pause illustrates just how much your emotional state depends on small online signals. Signs 20. Crafting epic farewells. When ending a conversation, you might feel the urge to write a long farewell message, almost a mini ode to the exchange. You want to ensure that when the conversation closes, there's no room for misunderstanding. This need to leave no loose ends is a reflection of your desire to feel secure, even in moments of parting. Signs 21. The fear behind the seen status. Knowing someone has seen your message and yet hasn't replied can be one of the most agonizing experiences. That seen tick becomes a visual reminder of your vulnerability and your desperate hope for connection. It's not about being impatient. It's about the fear that their silence might mean you're no longer a priority in their world. Signs 22. Reliance on scheduled check-ins. You set reminders to message someone just to hear their voice or read their reply. It becomes a ritual, a scheduled moment in your day that you rely on to feel grounded and connected. This habitual need for regular interaction underscores a dependence on others for emotional stability. Signs 23. Comparing your conversations with idealized memories. You often find yourself pining for the good old days of texting, when every interaction was filled with excitement and tender words. When current conversations feel more transactional or brief, you can't help but compare them to those cherished memories. This comparison not only heightens your anxiety, but also reinforces a fear that love, once vibrant, may now be fading away. Signs 24. Letting silence speak louder than words. Sometimes you purposefully leave your messages unanswered, expecting the other person to fill the void with care. It's a test, even if subconsciously, to see if they'll reach out and rescue you from that overwhelming silence. This act, though it may seem like playing hard to get, is really a cry for reassurance, a longing for validation of your worth. Signs 25. Finding your worth in their words. Ultimately, you come to believe that your value is measured by the attention and affection delivered through text. A heartfelt message makes your day, while a terse reply can shatter your self-esteem. In those moments, you're not just exchanging words, you're exchanging pieces of your heart. This final sign is both the most vulnerable and the most profound. Your worth, your joy, and your sense of love are intrinsically tied to how someone chooses to text you. If you recognize these 25 signs in your texting behavior, know this: you are not broken or unworthy. Your messages are simply the reflection of past wounds and deep-seated hopes. Becoming aware of these patterns is the first step toward healing. You have the power to change not only the way you text, but the way you love yourself and others. So next time you reach for your phone, ask yourself, am I texting out of love or out of fear? Because every message is a chance to rewrite your story and to build relationships that bring genuine comfort and connection. Thank you for joining me on this journey of self-discovery. Remember, your heart speaks in many ways. Sometimes all it takes is the courage to listen.